a Swadeshi push really began, if you think about it, in 1905, 1906 in India, in response to the partition of Bengal and the national movement that emerged to counter it, that was led by, Lala Lajpat Rai, Lokmanya Tilak, Sri Aurobindo, Bipin Pal, etc. So Swadeshi is not a new slogan in India, but it is relatively rarely invoked. I think if you look around the world, at the moment, China is pursuing a make in China policy for the last 10 years and has a slew of about 1,500 non-tariff barriers preventing imports from coming in there. Trump has imposed a bunch of tariffs, which are currently in abeyance, but they're still hanging like Damocles' sword over the world economy. And if you think about other countries, if you look at Japan and Korea, they have a bunch of cultural and non-tariff barriers. In Korea, it used to be the case that if you owned a foreign car, you would immediately be subjected to a tax audit. In Japan, owning a foreign car is frowned upon. So it is interesting that in India, we've had Swadeshi as a slogan since at least 1905. And we had a very Swadeshi approach to economic policy between 1947 and 1990. But there has always been a fascination for foreign products. And to such an extent that foreign names are often used as brand names. So if you look at products like Louis Philippe and Peter England, those are names of Indian brands, but they prefer to use French and English sounding names as ways of attracting customers in this country. So although we occasionally get our leaders talking about the need to buy Swadeshi and to honor our own production, most Indians are not particularly Swadeshi in their approach to purchases. Well, I don't think it'll happen overnight. Yeah. But if the PM starts a push along these lines, then and it becomes a movement, then it will have an impact. I mean, there are many people in this country. I'd say at least half of India's people are very attracted to what the Prime Minister says, and will act on his injunctions and his exhortations. So if this becomes a movement, yes, I think it will begin to have some impact. Well, I mean, in this era where you have an epidemic of protectionism around the world, it is probably even more incumbent upon politicians and leaders and statesmen to emphasize the need to buy local. So to that extent, what the Prime Minister has started here is a movement that is appropriate to its times. But, while a lot of people blame Trump for this moment in global trade relationships, it's important to understand that a lot of what Trump is saying about other countries is true. It is true that China is a mercantilist economy. It prevents imports from coming in through a bunch of non-tariff barriers. The only unfortunate aspect is that Trump seems to be focused on tariffs as if they are some sort of magic wand. It's not just tariffs. There are a whole lot of non-tariff barriers, cultural barriers to imports, etc., that are also part of the toolbook of various countries around the world, including China in particular. But the European Union also has what I would call a toolkit of measures to prevent imports and to focus on buying local or buying European. So yes, I mean, at this time, it's a message not just for Trump, but for all protectionist countries, countries that seek to keep imports out, both of goods and services.